When I was 6, we lived in New York City for 6 months, and this was during the time that the New York World's Fair was running. And I can remember standing on a moving sidewalk and being next to this high blue velvet curtain. The moving sidewalk was carrying us along, and I had this wonderful sense of mystery. I knew that something was coming up. And we passed around this curtain, and then the room opened up, and I looked to the right, and here was this light shining on this stunning, stunning sculpture. Michelangelo's Pietà, which had been brought in from Italy. And I can remember this awe isn't even quite the right word, this sense of magic. This idea that somebody could take something that was as hard and impersonal as stone and turn it into something that had that kind of life was mesmerizing, it was magical. Whatever word fits there, it was truly extraordinary. And that's something that has carried on for me for the rest of my life. I've been involved in art ever since then. I've got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Painting and Drawing. I've done lots of things having to do with teaching art and have shown and everything else too, but everything that goes with that. But I think one of the things that's the most important to me to communicate with this series of interviews that we want to do with as many people who will participate as we can invite to do so is the idea that while art in and of itself is a powerful and resonant experience, by its very nature you can't do art without learning something about who you are, and you learn something about who you can become. But even more than that, the process that you develop, the skills you develop when you're making art, carry into lots of other disciplines. It's helped me in just about everything that I've done, and where I've had successes, a big part of that has been due to what I learned through making art. I know that's true for other people as well.
I'm Annie, I'm the marketing manager at American Artist Magazine, and I'm here today in Denver at Meininger's art supply store. And we're going to walk around and ask people what first inspired them and how they fell in love with art.
I'm Henry Meininger. If you don't know me by now, which you probably do, I own Meininger Art Supply in Denver, Colorado. And I could probably talk to any artist on any media at any level. And I know generally quite a bit about all the materials they're using and whether they're using the right materials or not, which is really our job, is just to make sure the customer leaves with the right materials.
Always loved art ever since my mom took me out in the woods and was like, let's, glue sticks on a piece of paper.
Some of my inspirations would be different buildings I see. I first fell in love with architecture when I was in elementary.
My 8th grade year, I drew like a cowboy and I put it in a district art contest and I won. I just love like drawing realistic things like people and yeah, basically just people.
I just remember having a lot of enthusiastic art teachers in elementary school. That was really when I fell in love with art and have loved it ever since.
I think as soon as I could, distinguish color and actually use it, whether it was crayons or anything, and create something is when I fell in love with it.
I am a certified art teacher, and the main thing that I really love and want to instill in future generations is the love for art, love for expression and for creating, and the problem-solving tools and thoughts that go along with art.
What inspires me to make art is basically the tradition of art and the works that other artists have done and how they've basically shaped our consciousness and also been a part of history as it occurs and not just a separate world in and of itself.
I first fell in love with art probably when I was little, and now I want to be an art teacher.
In kindergarten, I guess my teacher used to take us out under a tree and let us draw.
At the age of 6, and I've been painting ever since.